Yes, people, what's good and welcome back to the channel, guys. So it's been a long time. It's been about 2 months since I released a video. I think it's 2 months. Yeah, so it's been a while since you guys seen the tank, heard my voice, and see what's going on. So a couple of things, guys, is the tank is doing much better than when I left it off. First thing I want to talk about is my lighting. So with my lighting, my photo period or my schedule was from 7:30 in the morning to 7 p.m. 12 hours, long time, too long. Yeah, so after speaking to a couple of guys, a couple of reefers that have done this hobby for quite a long time, and they know more about lighting than I do, and some interesting points came up is about that sweet spot, that photo period where corals utilize all the spectrum to do their business, to grow this and that, yada yada. Yeah, what I can gather is that there's a sweet spot where you need to kind of target, the maximum spectrum or the correct spectrum for corals, and they say it's about maybe 5 to 6 hours roughly. So what I've done is I've sat down with my mate again, program my lights or reprogram my lights to come on about 9 a.m. and go off around 5:30 p.m. Yeah, so not that long, shorter than that 12-hour period. However, the maximum spectrum, or the full spectrum that my corals will be getting within that 300 par range, starts from about 11 a.m. to about 3 p.m. so quite long. So that's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, so it's about 4 to 5 hours they'll be getting like the full par range that is recommended by the Spectra device. Yeah, so since doing that, it's been about like 3.5 weeks since I started doing this, or I reprogrammed the light. I can see a lot of change within my corals. I mean, corals that actually lost color, right? This bad boy here starting to color up again. So this thing was actually going really white. All the pigments at the top of it, it was gone. There was nothing on there. And since easing up on the lights, reprogramming, shorter lighting schedule, colors are coming back nicely to this piece here. And if you can see the coral or the aquascape itself, the corals are looking more vibrant in my opinion, and the lighting schedule, there's no plateau or anything. It's literally comes on at 9:30 and it starts to ramp up. It gets to its peak point, and then it arcs down again, so it's like a big old stretched out U shape. That makes sense. And at that point, what, 11 o'clock, the reef brights come on, and at about 2:33 o'clock the reef brights go off, and then it goes more into that blue spectrum and then goes off about 5:30 at night. So yeah, so new spectrum, new lighting schedule, doing wonders for the tank. I am doing regular water changes every single week. Yeah, respect to everyone who does reefing without water changes, but I felt that with all my experimenting, all my trials and everything else, I do see better results with regular water changes. And it's a small system. It's about just short of 150 liters, so 15 liters a week water change is not that much. Yeah, so it's quite affordable for me. Currently the livestock I have in there is my 2 wrasses. I had one wrasse that jumped out, woke up in the morning and he was crispy on the floor, gutted. I don't have a lid on this tank. I don't want a lid. I just think it just ruins the whole look to the tank. So I'm not going to put the lid on here. Hopefully they stay in there. I know it's a risk, but it's what I'm going to take. And the other clownfish at the back there, doing really well. Yeah, I think I've had those clownfish for I think about 7 years now. Quite old when it comes to fish and everything else. So yeah, I do have a lawnmower blenny, yeah, keeping the tank nice and clean, and I do have a Tormini tank at the back there. Now he's becoming a little bit of a bully, so he doesn't like the this wrasse here, and every now and again he chases it around and go into the sand bed, and he sometimes picks on this lawnmower blenny as well, and that's his little cave there. Go into there for some respite from the tank. I'm going to keep a close eye on the tank just to ensure he doesn't bully any other fish, causing them to be stressed out or kicked out the tank. I'm assuming that's possibly the reason why the yellow chorus wrasse leaped out the tank. Maybe the tang was chasing him, not too sure. Just keep eyes on and take it from there. Now let's talk about the LPS I have on the sand bed. So this LPS here usually is nice and all puffed out. It is occurring now. It is quite early in the morning, so that's probably why it's just coming, just waking up. But usually around 3 o'clock This thing is about 4 inches in diameter, just spread out, taking all this area here, and you can see all the rainbow colors popping out. This coral here, see, there it goes again. This coral here, I moved it from underneath the aquascape, probably more into the light, and it's puffed up quite a lot. Just gotten massive again. This micromusa and these two here will literally on death store in the Pico. I mean, this one had about almost 2 polyps or 3 polyps. Look at the size of it now, and this one has taken up the whole frag plate or the whole frag disc now. And all my corals, including this one here, are on frag disc, so they're not in contact with the sand. Like the bases aren't in contact with the sand. It's just the polyps when they puff out, or when they swell up, they contact the sand. But there's free movement, yeah, through the wave makers and that, to ensure that, you know, there's no sand buildup or anything on there. Currently, my alkalinity on this system is around that 8.5 mark. Just around that, goes up a little, comes down a little, just not by much. So around, I'll say 8.4 to about 8.6. That's what I'm doing at the moment. Now, when I was dosing the fluorine back into the system to bring the numbers back into line within my range, or the recommended range, the alkalinity went up to about 9.1, and it stayed there for about a week. Stayed there for that week. I was dosing the fluorine. After the fluorine was, you know, done, I stopped doing that. Over a couple of days, it went back down. I just think maybe the system just stalled because, you know, some chemical was, or some product was being dosed into the tank, which was weird. But currently 8.4 to like 8.6, quite stable at the moment. Calcium is the same, and yeah, the corals are doing really well. Polyps are out. Look at the pinky, the bear there. Polyps are out, doing really well. I want to talk about my nutrients as well. So my nutrients, you know, what I thought about NO3 and PO4, I was way off, and I think I've actually just, you know, not stumbled into it, but I had to read, do some research, tried it, and it seems to be working. So I'm currently keeping my NO3 around 10 ppm, yeah, and my PO4, believe it or not, is 0.1 for this system. It's not 0.07, 0.09, it's 1 ppm, and the corals seem to be loving it. No issues on the sand bed, no algae issues. Corals aren't STNing, RTNing. If anything, they are growing, yeah. My alkalinity dosing has gone up, my calcium dosage has gone up, and the corals are doing extremely well, especially this gunny in the corner here. Now, like I said, all my corals are on frag disc on the sand bed, so they don't really contact the sand bed. Coral was another coral I was on death store. It was about ½ an inch when it was in the Pico. After a couple of months of putting it into the main tank, my TMC, yeah, look at the size of it now, doing really well. And it actually gets bigger than this later on during the day, because it's quite early when the corals are just waking up. Oh yeah, I did manage to get my hands on some strawberry shortcake. Now, with the strawberry shortcake, this coral is my nemesis. I can never grow this coral to a point where it survives. Now, it's been in there for about 6 weeks. It's doing really well. It's actually growing and actually starting to encrust onto the coral below it, so that's something I need to look out for. And there's a bit of warfare going on, but nighttime the polyps are massive on this coral, and yeah, the color is really coming in as well. Things that help me maintain my aquascape, or the rocks and everything else, is the Tormini tank and the lawnmower blending, doing really well. What I intend to do with this tank as well, there's 2 things I need to get for this tank that might not be necessary, but I like to test out the Reef factory roller mat, just to see if there's any merit or any issues with PO4, NO3, if anything is affected, and if the corals are affected. But I just want to see if it's all it's claimed to be. So I'll probably see if I can get hold of one of them, install it just to see what it's like. If I don't like it, take it off. If I like it and the corals aren't affected, keep it on. And the second thing I need to do for this tank as well is purchase my conductivity probe for my Apex. About 3 months ago, I literally hit the probe on the side of the sump. I smashed the little glass bead inside, the glass bulb inside. Hasn't been working since, so I need to replace that. Then guys, over the last couple of months is my surface area, or my surface agitation. So before, the water level was quite high, and the where the pumps are, I think it was just being lost within the water volume and the water column. So now the water levels are actually lower. There's more surface agitation happening between the pumps hitting the cross flow from the return nozzle and the cross flow from the MP3 in the, well, MP3, the Nero 3 in the corner here. So better water flow, or better circulation here. And my pH is still going up to 8.4 at the moment. Really doing well. The lowest my pH goes to is about 8.2 at night, which is quite good. I'm running a CO2 scrubber on here, yeah, from ATI, the Carbo X. Yeah, I just get one when I need it, buy a couple, just keep it in my storage area for my tank, and it's doing well. The next point of call, I think, for this tank is just to keep nurturing it, yeah, keep the stability going to ensure the corals grow out, and get a new set of bone cutters, or what you call it, fragging tools, so I can ensure all the tips are cut so they're not really touching each other, because you can see there's a potential for them to start growing into each other now that it's really picking up and the alkalinity is being sucked and that growth is coming in now. So yeah, that's the next point of call. So yeah guys, that is a general update to the system. And yeah, if there's any questions, any comments, any things you think I can do better, just put it in the comments below, guys. Also, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about this bad boy here. Yeah, so this was also in the Pico, this torch coral. I think you guys seen it before from like months ago. I put it back to the Pico because I said, you know, let me just make this whole thing SPS, put it back in here now, frag this again. It's gotten massive, it's like really taken off. And this one here, this Blasto, it was in the Pico, not doing too hot, put it in here, it's fine. It's really you know, starting to show its colors now, starting to encrust and grow a couple of heads. And the Anacropora, this thing was about maybe 3 inches when I put it in there. Look at the size of it now, guys. It's got a massive. In a couple of weeks, I reckon, yeah, I'll start fragging it again. So if there's any local reefers around here in Portsmouth, just let me know. Just contact me on Instagram. I'll get you a piece of that if you want a piece of an Anacropora, because it's gonna get massive, definitely get massive. All right, guys, this is Nano for HC Aquatics Reefing. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, guys. I'll see you next time.